Okay, hello everyone. Welcome in the channel. Today we are with Michele,
Hi everyone.
and usually on this channel we speak in Italian and we do all the videos in Italian, but we want to change. We want to, you know, try to do this in English. As usual, we are on our trusty 737. We are now at 30,000 feet. We are on heading 205, almost inbound to, yeah, let's say inbound to Corsica, but our plan is to turn back and land back in Bologna, coming from Lomed, so overflying, let's say, Florence, because this kind of arrival usually keeps us very well. It depends, of course, but usually it keeps us very high, especially if ATC gives us a shortcut that we love very much. And together with the being high, usually you also have a tailwind. Sometimes if you are very lucky, you have a headwind that is going to help you descent and of course manage the descent better. So at the moment we are turning, and in a while we will turn back towards Lomed. In this time I want to set up the FMC as if as if we had to land in Bologna. Actually, we are gonna land in Bologna, so we do it according to a normal FMC setup. We are here in the descent page. Today we want to descend a bit fast, 300 knots, because ATC, usually Roma radar, asks for a higher speed. So we go 300 and we will set 250 below 100. Execute. In the forecast page, actually I'm not gonna set any wind. At the moment I don't have the winds. We only know that in Bologna it's 1013 in the QNH, and we set due to this our transition to 75. So descent is all done. I like to go then into the fixed page. We plan to go runway 12, 10.
You have to put the rings.
Yeah, we put the rings 10 miles and let's say 4 miles. The
Yeah.
descent ring does not apply, let's say, today. Then I like to go to the routing to double check the arrival. Lomed 3 Mike for the LS Zulu 12. Now we can check all the points in the plan in plan mode. So we have Elba, Lomed. So due to the Florence airspace below, usually ATC cannot give you lower than 160, and here is basically the problem, because the possible shortcut is to proceed from Lomed to then Papa Echo 525 MDUD for the straight in runway 12. But if we check the altitudes that the system wants us to fly over Lomed, if we delete and we do not execute, we can see that we have Lomed 525 then MDUD. We see that the machine wants us to fly over Lomed at 300 knots at 116 level. We are gonna be at the 160, which means that basically if we fly over Lomed and we get the shortcut, we are gonna be, let's say, 4,000 feet high, plus the chance of having a very strong tailwind, plus the terrain below, and the radar minima, which usually goes to 110, 90, then 5,000. But if you have ever done a step descent, especially if you're high, you can already see that it's going to be very difficult for us to recover the path. So we have to plan for it, and we have to be aware of it actually. So since we want to descend at 300 knots, so let's see now. I think it's time to proceed to Lomed. So we go
Yes.
straight to Nomad. Vnav is available. We go Vnav, so we don't waste too much time. Since we want to descend 40 miles to the top of descent at 300 knots, and we know that we can anticipate being high at Lomed and after Lomed. I have set already 220 knots, so the airplane is gonna have a very low energy. It's gonna be slow, and we're gonna have this hard altitude here, 160, because we know that we cannot descend any farther, basically. So this is gonna help us, because then at 220 we can increase our speed together with the speed brakes to try and recover our profile, basically. So this is the first important thing, if you know already that you're gonna be kept high by ATC. So now we will wait a few seconds and we will start our descent.
Yes.
Oh yeah, now the airplane wants to start the descent. It has accelerated. So now we select 160, we press Alt Intervent. And the airplane basically is gonna start to initially descend at 1,000 feet a minute up until we're gonna catch the path, and we will then fly an idle descent to Lomed. So, okay, we still have 1 mile, so now the path is gonna come back. We can already, let's say, recycle the belts to tell the cabin that we are gonna be very close to the ground in a few minutes. So once we have, let's say, checked the routing, we check all the points. Of course, we double check that everything is in accordingly with the altitude, so vertical profile, speeds, and of course the lateral profile. So now we will start to be on the path. Thrust are gonna go idle. Every time you fly very close to the, at high speeds, especially as the airplane starts to catch the path, we have to watch carefully our speed, because it's very easy for the speed to go up to the barber pole. So we have to be ready for to use maybe speed brakes or go level change. Even though now with the new Vnav, common Vnav software, the airplane is gonna go on Vnav speed automatically. So that's a nice feature to have. But of course we have to always look.
Yeah, have an eye on the speed.
Yeah, to have the situational awareness. Okay, so we know that now everything is in. The missed approach is correct. It's all in.
Yes.
And we have the frequencies for the LS 1089, minimum is 327. 327, course is 113, land altitude is 150. Landing gate will be 500 feet, so we have to be completely configured by then. In caso varando il presto ga once, go around flap 15, go around thrust, positive rate gear up, 400 feet will be LNAV. We keep flap 1 for the initial turn, then we will ask ATC to speed up. We're gonna level off. Once we level off, we will go command auto throttle after the code checklist. Now we are gonna land with 4.2, we have 4.6, 400 to burn, so we're gonna land well below max landing weight with 61 tons. And we will set up for flap 40. Auto brake 3, second detent. Okay. The other thing that you can do here because you may fly to Mdud after Papa Echo 525 and then proceed to Mdud, but maybe they can also give you Papa Echo 525 and then follow the whole arrival. But since we don't know that, usually we plan for the worst basically, and we are gonna select 220 knots, which makes us good to extend the flaps, and 5,000 feet are the altitude.
To be well prepared for every situation, basically.
Sì. Yes. So now we just need to wait basically and see.
Yes.
So the other thing that it's important during a step descent, as the one that we may expect to fly here, is that usually as you get closer to our to your basically to your minima, for example after 160 will be 110, we have to be aware that high rate of descents are not great, especially in a in an environment where other airplanes maybe are climbing and you may create a conflict. So usually we use the rule that at 2000 feet from the level off we have to reduce our rate of descent to 2000 feet, and at 1000 feet we are gonna reduce our rate of descent at 1000 feet. So we have to work with the speed brakes or level change or vertical speed to keep these restrictions, because it's the best way to avoid TCAS array and other problems.
Yeah, because the TCAS is predictive.
Yeah, if it's gonna sense very high rate of climb and descents, it's gonna warn you. To avoid that, it's better to, and also to help the autopilot to level off, because to level off with 5,000 feet a minute, it's a different story than to level off with 1,000. So now we are gonna hit the descent point in Vnav path, and we are gonna start a gradual acceleration to 220 knots. Today we are lucky because the winds are very light, actually 9 knots.
Yes, it's good weather.
Beautiful scenery of Cimone, Abetone, out of the window. And this is Florence down here, actually.
Yes.
Amazing
Seems
simulator.
real. Yeah.
Looks like a real deal.
Yeah. If you look outside, it looks like a real world picture.
So they said that in Flight Simulator 2024 is gonna be even better. Wow, I don't
Let's
know
see.
how it's gonna look like.
Let's see what's gonna come.
Yeah. I hope to get maybe better performance for the same hardware, but apart from that, I'm happy already with what we got.
Me too, but if they will, better optimize the simulator and improve also the flight model, flight dynamics, weather engine, and everything will be the best simulator, maybe.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so we are getting close to Lomed, our speed is going down, and also the altitude. So usually air traffic controllers have to deal with many other airplanes, and even though they're gonna tell you, look, expect descent after Lomed, maybe sometimes you're gonna wait 1, 2, 3, 4 miles, and this makes even worse because you're gonna lose precious time that you can use to actually start your descent. Okay, so we are hitting Lomed, Vnav path, speed is going back down, and we're gonna simulate this basically, that the airplane is gonna level off, maybe wait 10-20 seconds, and you will have to really push the controller to ask for descent. So now let's say that the controller gave us 110 according to the minima. So you can descend level 110. Enough speed. And you can proceed direct to 525 M2. Bam. So now we are gonna be quite
You're gonna
high.
be high.
Not as much as as in real life, let's say. And what we can do here is can open the speed window and start to descend. To catch.
And the reason you're not using level change is because you need to keep, or better said, it's better to keep the restrictions on the autopilot.
Yeah, let's say that Vnav
Yeah,
helps you in that. So now we are in Vnav, speed intervent, but this is the problem now, that we are in path. I put here 250 knots, and it wants us to keep 220 because it was the previous restriction at Lomed, which basically it doesn't really apply. So this is a fault of the system. It doesn't work like
properly.
that. So now what we can do is just to keep 2000, bring the speed back. One to go. We're gonna also put 5000 feet or above here now. And now we can basically also use speed brakes to. Why? I have a problem with my throttles. We can slow down because we are going to expect further descent in a few miles. So we are going to ask for the help of the speed brakes to slow down. Now we are at 110. Once they clear us for level 990, we have to be conscious as well of the fact that below 100 we have to be at 250 knots. We cannot go more. So now we are 90 set. We are gonna go 250 knots, and again speed brakes. And as well here it's another problem because we cannot really exceed this 2000 feet a minute rate of descent. This is a problem basically, so we can play a little bit with the speed. Keeping the speed brakes out to keep the speed in check, to have basically 1000 feet a minute and a speed that basically doesn't go above 250 knots. Now we are okay. Here basically the minima comes very high, up to maybe 5, 6, 7 miles from Papa Echo 525. So now they cleared us for 5000 feet, which is the next altitude. Set. we can now go level change. As we are getting basically close to Papa Echo 525 and we are still very high, here we can put 220 knots, and we can also use the flaps. So we go level change, flap 1. Now because we are clear to an altitude, we go we have to select the QNH.
Yes.
And we help with the speed brakes. So passing 9,000, descending 5,000, no flags. Standard altimeter is set. You can also do the 10 checks. The fuel, the lights, the airplane is descending. So pressurization is okay. Bank 25, record. And basically we are getting closer and closer to the point where we have to intercept the final, so there is no point in increasing the speed back to 250, but the best thing to do is just to use the drag of the flaps, 220 knots, which gives us basically a very high drag, and gives us as well the opportunity to be within the range for configuring the airplane for the next phase of the flight, which is gonna be the final, where we have to be much slower than 220 knots. Now we are in level change, but there is no problem because we have to cross Papa Echo 525 5,000 feet above, and we are well above that, so there is no issues there. After this point we are clear to 2,500 feet, which is our platform, and we continue to go down like that.
And rearward you will be cleared for ILS.
Check. Now we can also select here a profile of 200 knots, which is basically the final profile that basically we need. This is what I like to do, at least. Now we are gonna overshoot if we keep this speed, so I'm gonna go 190 knots, and I want to be below 210 to use flaps 10. We are gonna continue the descent. Because I don't want to overshoot. So we go level change, 190, flaps 10. And we are high, we know. Let's see if we can manage to recover the profile. Now we can go with the Warlock.
Localizer capture.
Okay, we have runway heading. Still have the speed brakes on. Now we are getting close to 1 dot above the glide. We keep the speed brakes on. We're gonna see the cabin crew. Now we are on the localizer. We are getting close to the platform altitude. Now we can also reduce a little bit. Now we are within 1 dot. Approach. We can only do this if we are on the localizer, and we are catching the profile from above, basically. Okay, so now we almost captured the glide, and we are still within limits to configure the airplane. Okay, we have the glide stop. Now we bring the speed back to avoid the throttles to come back, and we can, in this case, as we are on profile, getting close to the 4 miles, the point of normal configuration, we are still a bit high. We can select the missed approach altitude, and I would like to go already gear down. This gives us all the drag needed basically to configure the airplane. And as you can see, we are on lock, on glide. Speed is getting back. We are close to the 4 miles where we can start our configuration. Our speed brakes are armed. Continuous. So now, as we hit the 4 miles, we will continue with the configuration. And we will also do a go around. So we are done, flap 15. Let's not worry about the landing checklist too much. Flap 25.
Flap
40. So basically, we have recovered the flight plan, the flight path, and the airplane correctly. We didn't overshoot. We didn't bust any altitude, and we are fully configured for landing well within the landing gate. So now we're gonna do also a go around at the minima. Okay, let's say ATC clears us, well, tells us to go around, so toga once,
100.
go around, pitch 15 slowly, flap 15,
Retracts plus 15.
set the go around thrust, we have a positive rate here, we are above 400 feet, we go, and now, let's say that we have tuned the radius, we are well above the speed, so we can try the flaps 5, and I want to keep flap 5. I want to keep flap 5 to keep the turn a bit tighter. To 200 knots is the maximum. You can even do it slower. You know, there's no need to accelerate too much. As we get then alt acquire, we will have to bug up manually, and this is the only thing that we have to remember. Okay, let's say that the turn is finished and we can accelerate. Now we're gonna get the bug, the alt acquire, and the speed window is gonna open. You'll see.
Yeah.
One day. The other important thing is to always check, of course, the FMA, SCP speed, and nav, alt acquire, and as well to have the auto throttle on, because if you do a go around from a final and you maybe do it because when you had disconnected the auto throttle prior to the go around, you will end up with no auto throttle, so you will have to manage everything manually, and you have to remember to, you know, to put the auto throttle on if you want the speed to be kept by the automation. Okay, so we are done in the hold, it's all good. After the code checklist is complete, everybody is seated, aircon is good. Fuel state is 3.9. Let's say 2 tons. Let's say we have more than 1 hour. Let's say 1 hour.
Yeah.
Considering the reserve. Okay, so this is the video that we wanted to do today regarding the Vnav, how to manage the descent profile. I hope that you enjoyed, and please share, subscribe, and put a like to the video. It's gonna help us to continue to do that, and we say hello. And if you have any questions or anything that you would like to see, please comment and let us know. Thank you very much. Bye bye.
Bye, enjoy the channel. Bye everyone.